welcome back. This is the Top 5 presented by Texas Beef House. Use promo code 365sports. This is the 2025 hot seat. These are coaches I don't believe will be in the hot seat this year, but they'll be given things that they have to do better in order to keep their job next year. Number 5, and this one pains me, but Mike Norvell is going to be the hot seat in 2025 if he does not fix that offense. Look, the defense has played in pretty much every game good enough for them to win, but they can't block and they can't catch. And for that matter, they're not that good at throwing it either. Can they run the ball? I don't really know because they can't block. And can they pass the ball? I don't know because they can't catch, but it makes me think it's a little bit of both on that end. So what was supposed to be a power running offense this year has become a disaster. The entire offensive staff needs a shuffle. New offensive coordinator, especially new offensive line coach, all that is probably going to get done in the offseason at Florida State. If not, Mike Norvell is really going to be under the gun in 2025 to make it better because while last year was one of the best regular seasons in school history with a 13-0 finish, this year is the worst in 40 years. Willie Taggart didn't even hit this bottom rung of the ladder, and that's not good for Mike Norvell, especially in the new era of college football where talent comes in and talent goes out faster than you can possibly imagine. He's living that right now in Tallahassee. Number 4, Gus Malzahn at UCF. UCF, Oklahoma State, kind of in the same boat right now in the Big 12 where they just keep losing. Also, West Virginia in that boat where you just can't beat the good teams. When UCF gets an opportunity to beat a plus team, they have not yet. I think Gus will have to make some changes, maybe stabilize the quarterback position. They look good for most of the game, 97% of the game. In Ames this week, they looked fantastic, but lost it at the end, which has become a signature of Gus Malzahn's tenure at UCF. So he's going to have to make some changes in 2025. And number 3, Sonny Dykes. Here's him doing something he frequently does, which is yell at an official. He was kicked out of a game this year for arguing with the officials. That's not something I had ever seen before in my life, and the highs of 2022 are gone now, and this is a very mediocre team at TCU. They feel like they've got a good quarterback. They feel like they've got some good skill players, but they can't run the ball. They're not great on defense. And yes, they only gave up 7 this week to Utah, but that offensive coordinator just quit. So Sonny Dykes is going to have a lot of repairing to do to get back to the highs of 2022. Number 2, Hugh Freeze will not have a winning season at Auburn this year in year 2. Needs to fix the offense, which is not good. Dropped the game at the end of Missouri. Again, you can see the gap between the better teams and the mediocre teams. As Missouri's not as good as they were last year, but they're certainly steps ahead of Hugh Freeze and Auburn right now. And this is a guy who has thrown quarterbacks under the bus, has done everything to make himself look like a legitimate SEC coach again. But I think his act is wearing thin. He's also dealing with a fan base that is not afraid to pull the trigger, whether it's right or wrong. And Hugh Freeze has to get that team better. He's got a big-time quarterback coming in 2025. We'll see what happens on the Plains with Hugh Freeze. And number 1, Brent Venables. Here's him yelling, "It ain't ever good enough." And that's true. And at Oklahoma, that's how they're going to feel a lot of the time. They are very good on defense. They are atrocious on offense. And Oklahoma does not live by that standard. You want to know the problem with their offense? It was not Seth Luttrell. It was the fact that they are talent deficient on offense at Oklahoma. Let me say that again. They are talent deficient on offense at Oklahoma. They do not have depth or skill players or plus linemen or anything like that on that side of the ball. And for that to happen at Oklahoma is shocking. He's got to fix that or he's gone. I would not have said this a couple weeks ago, but after the last few weeks of watching Oklahoma struggle to put points on the board, no matter who's playing quarterback, and both those guys are highly recruited, they've got to get right, and they've got to get right in a hurry in Norman. That's going to do it for the top 5. We say adieu right now.